Hello YouTube, this is cover 2 credits! Today, we're going to be doing something.
First of all, interesting that this year's a leap year.
True. That means we have a week and we don't know what to do.
We have a day. Today is February 29th. And yeah, so this will be the last week of February on our schedule. It's kind of the loophole. We don't usually have another week in February. Next week, we will start with the book CTC Inc. for the second month, and we will continue on from there. So that's coming up this week. But this week, we're talking about an anime that I introduced Kevin to in the beginning, wasn't it? First season?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I had known about it, but I just
hadn't
ended up
watched
watching it.
I don't watch much anime. I had seen this one.
Real anime.
No, we did a review for one of the earlier seasons about this, and it's on the channel. You can check it out. But this is probably what the most Americanized version of an anime can be.
Well, I mean, it was made by an American company, so it's
Yeah.
definitely Americanized.
But I mean, like when you watch it, that's kind of the.
Yeah, it's pretty.
If it makes sense, if there's a spectrum between anime and cartoon,
This is in the middle somewhere.
to me, this almost leans more cartoon. But it's pretty close to the center. However, we are talking about Rooster Teeth's anime,
Sort of.
RWBY.
Yes.
RWBY. Don't let that confuse you when looking for it.
Don't use a U, you'll never find it.
No, you won't. This is chapter 3.
Season 3.
Well, same thing.
Yes.
They do theirs in chapters instead of seasons, is how they word it. We seriously just binged the entire third chapter.
I was waiting until it all came out. Now it's all out, and now I binge watched it.
Yep.
And most depressing season ever.
I will say though, I still enjoyed it.
It was good.
I like this show is very interesting. I'll tell you the favorite thing I have in this entire show is the characters are developed, even though they introduce new ones that aren't. The main 4 are developed, and everyone's weapons in this show are awesome.
Pretty awesome.
Everyone's weapons in the show are awesome. So this season kind of takes place where they're going to have a large.
It's basically the end of the first year, right?
Yes, at the
Everyone
academy.
was students for a year. That's
Yep.
where the first 2 seasons take place. A bunch of stuff happens. Things happen.
People are defeated.
Yep.
And then to culminate the end of the year, all of the different kingdoms send warriors in to students in to battle in a arena bracketed styled tournament.
Tournament of Champions.
And that's kind of where everything kicks off at the beginning. The season starts with it kind of going off and just battles commence, and they're fun to watch. Like the one thing they do very well is the fighting in this show, and so that's
Excellent acting.
Yeah. But what did you think? So what did you think of the season kind of overall? We don't want to spoil anything. Hopefully you will go watch this. It's all on YouTube. I'll link it in the description. You can sit down and watch any chapter one at a time. They're about 20 minutes each?
Yeah, they're pretty short.
There's 13 of them in this season. Like I said, Kevin and I just sat and watched the entire 13 episodes.
It was about 3.5 hours.
Yeah, it wasn't very long at all. I think there's a playlist you can find. I'll link it in the description, like I said. And I'd recommend if you have if you have a Saturday or a Sunday where you're not doing anything, you want to watch something kind of fun, pick up on RWBY. You can watch all the seasons on YouTube, or you can go to Rooster Teeth's website and find them.
Don't watch this season if you're looking for something fun.
No, start at the beginning, because you will enjoy this season. It's not like this is a bad season.
It wasn't bad.
No,
like I said,
it's sad. It's a depressing season.
It's the 4th book of Harry Potter.
It has to be.
Where things go from the sort of lighthearted character introductions, everything's happy and fun and magical, to now the shit's hitting the fan in the background and things are getting dark.
Getting a little dark. And
there was an actual, viewer discretion advised
now
pop-up.
About halfway through the season. And I kind of was like, that seems weird, but I understand why.
She gets real.
Yeah, and I mean...
Wheels come off the wagon.
I do, like I said, the characters for the main four are great this season. And the things that go on, especially near the end, you're like, this is crazy compared to what's been going on. You're introduced to a lot of new sub-characters that weigh in a lot, but I have a feeling we'll never see again.
Probably.
And that's not a spoiler. It's not like everybody in the world dies. I don't mean that. It seems like they did wrap up this aspect of things fairly well, yet didn't answer a lot of questions about what exactly goes on.
No, it was almost like
a weird tease.
If they would have to me, if I was the one pulling the strings,
The puppet master.
I would have made the first 3 seasons kind of into one season, because I think this would have been an excellent wrap to the first sort of chunk.
But you also have to admit, if they would have done that, you would have missed a lot of why certain people being around in this last season.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, though, is it's such a, especially as short as the episodes are, it's all sort of very rushed. I mean, RWBY had short episodes anyway. This season was longer episodes than we'd seen pretty much all the others.
I think 13 might be the most episodes in a season they've had.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very fast-paced show to begin with. But this season especially is they pulled the Matrix Revolution and jammed about 15 hours worth of plot into about 12 hours worth of show.
See, I didn't feel like it was nearly that bad.
I thought it was pretty rushed.
There's something that happens with Yang during the arena fight, and when that happened, it kind of just, everything kicked off.
Yes.
And I think once that kind of went, I can see that, but I didn't feel rushed. I felt like it was like everything was methodical until this point, and that was the tipping point to where everything's happening now, everything's happening. And it's just continuously happening. To where there wasn't a lull.
Well, to me, I don't know.
I can see what you're saying, but I didn't feel rushed with it. I felt more like it got to that pinnacle point, and that was the crack in the hull, and from there everything kicked off, and everything kicked off. It went nuts. And
pretty much.
They called in the recruits from the miners, and things just went haywire.
Yeah, we're getting off on a bit of a tangent here, so we should probably wrap this up.
We always have tangents. However, so overall, did you enjoy? Not enjoy? Do you recommend?
It was good. I didn't like it as much the first 2 seasons. However, it does introduce where I think the main plot line of this overall story is going to go. Especially now. Like I said, I can't really talk about anything because it's a spoiler, but whatever. The point is that we've finally gotten a hint of what the hell's going on in the world overall, in the overall sense. Because, as with, like I said, I'm going to draw a similarity to Harry Potter here, is things are happening in the first 2 Harry Potter books that the characters have to deal with, but you don't learn why until the later books down the line. You learn what the hell's actually going on, and there's a very similar thing that's going on.
It's exactly what's going on.
We had character introduction stuff, and they're dealing with the underlings, but the underlings that they're fighting are only a tier, only a particular small portion of the overall problems going on in the world, and now they're getting the overall problems,
even though it's still not completely hashed out.
Yeah, we don't really know.
We, as viewers, don't necessarily know who's pulling the strings completely. When you watch the end of the last episode, you have a good idea. But I enjoyed this season, and I think you said you didn't enjoy it as much as 1 and 2. I don't think you're supposed to. With what goes on in the season.
Well, yeah, it's not like RWBY's always been it's a very light-hearted show with a ton of stupid humor and slapstick stuff, and this didn't have any of that.
Not really.
It was all plot and character development and problems and people trying to deal with stuff, and it's all, like I said, it's all very emo.
Every season they have different people directing and different people doing things, and so that could be that this season, I think it was Kerry Shawcross was the one that directed it, to where it more of a constant kind of
it's a lot more.
punch in the gut.
It was a lot more stuff packed into this.
And
one.
I think they need. I mean, and like I said, I'm looking forward to the next season to see
Definitely.
what happens now, because it's going to be interesting of who from their past they run into on what goes on. So I definitely would recommend it. I definitely would say, really, do not start anywhere but season 1. You kind of this is definitely
no freaking clue.
Definitely is something, or you would maybe understand, but any references to prior things
you would miss a lot of
the weight.
What am I looking for?
To me, it's the weight of different relationships.
Yeah.
People's reactions to seeing other people, the anger.
Miss a lot of the context.
You
miss a lot of the context.
That's completely
the things
true.
are happening in.
Yes.
Anyway,
recommend it. Go watch season 1, 2, and 3.
Excellent. They're very short. It won't take you that long. You could pound through all 3 seasons in probably 6 hours.
All 3? Yeah, maybe a little longer.
Because the first couple are short.
Maybe a little longer.
Short.
I mean,
like
it
the
might be
first
close.
couple episodes are like 8 minutes long.
It'd be close. Either way, it's worth a couple sittings just to sit, plug through. All on YouTube.
Binge watch. It's the American way.
All on YouTube, really is. You can also find them. Like I said, I'll link them down below. But yeah, we recommend it. If there's any other animes that you think of that'd be worth watching,
I will watch them and make fun of them.
Yeah,
Actually, I won't, because I pretty much like everything, even the really
he
terrible
really
ones.
does.
Like the really terrible harem comedies that they show on Tokyo TV that no one watches, I think are hysterically funny. But that's because I have the sense of humor of a 12-year-old. Which is fine.
Yeah. So, recommend them. Like, share this video if you know of anybody else who's interested. And until next time.
Thanks for staying till after the credits.